All right, folks, welcome back to the show where Celtics talk never stops. Even when it's the off-season, even when we're supposed to be chilling, we're still talking hoops. And today, oh yeah, we're diving into a loaded mailbag. We're talking Jason Tatum's recovery, why some fans want Damian Lillard in green, the latest big man rumors, the realities of NBA cap strategy, and yeah, even a little bald head banter to keep it light. So let's kick it off with the big name on everyone's mind, Jason Tatum. Now look, there's been videos surfacing lately showing JT putting in that rehab work, walking through the pool without assistance, doing these insane ab workouts, just grinding. And I get the excitement. Believe me, I do. But let's not sprint before we can walk. We're still early in the process. The guy's still in a boot. That means we're not talking full speed cutting or contact drills anytime soon. Right now, this is like being at mile 3 of a marathon and saying, hey, can he keep this pace? Maybe. But the road is long. The important part is he's putting in the work and that pool walking. It's low impact, but effective. It's about rebuilding the connection between that Achilles, the calf, and the rest of the leg mechanics. You want to see progress like that. You want to see the guy committed. So yeah, we're cautiously optimistic, but patience is key. Now let's get to something that's been blowing up the inbox. This idea of changing the way the NBA handles contracts for drafted players. I'm talking about a system where you can spend freely on your own draft picks, but get penalized for trades and free agent signings. It's a nice thought, right? Reward teams that develop their own guys. But there's a catch. Who did the Celtics technically draft? Did we draft Tatum or did Philly? Because remember, that pick swap happened on draft night. Philly made the pick, Boston made the trade. So if we get real legal about it, it raises all kinds of questions. Same with other teams. Think about how many stars changed hands before they ever put on a jersey of the team that wanted them. It's murky. And here's the bottom line. The league likes where things are going. This new CBA, this second apron punishment, it's not going away. The NBA wants parity. They want stars spread around. And teams like the Celtics? Yeah, they're getting hit first and hardest. But it's not personal. It's by design. You used to be able to win, pay the tax, and keep rolling. Not anymore. These second apron rules, they're brutal. Boston saved over $200 million in tax penalties just by flipping a couple of guys. That's not chump change. That's generational wealth even for billionaires. So yeah, ownership's gonna think twice. Which brings us to the next hot topic. Is the era of 2 or even 3 max contracts on one team dead? I mean, when? You've got guys like Devin Booker projected to make over $75 million a year. You start wondering how anyone can afford that. JAYSON and Jalen, they're both going to be pulling in over $60 million annually. That's wild. So now, it's not just about talent, it's about structure. If you're going to keep 2 max guys, you better be hitting home runs on your scouting. You better be getting Luka Garza types or undrafted gems who can give you starter minutes on minimum deals. And if you're thinking of building a big 3, good luck. That's going to take some serious financial gymnastics. And look, maybe the triggers for these max deals need to change too. Like, how is a third team All-NBA nod going to qualify someone for a supermax? We got to rethink that. Injuries, load management, schedule imbalances. There's just too much randomness in who makes those teams. Supermax contracts should be for the elite of the elite. First teamers, MVPs, DPOYs, that's the tier. You can't break your entire team's cap structure because one guy snuck onto third team thanks to a couple of hot weeks in February. Now let's pivot a little. I know some of y'all have been asking about Dame. Yeah, Damian Lillard. I know. He's been banged up. He's getting older. But let's just play with the idea. Dame on a vet minimum? That's a no-brainer. You're telling me we could bring in a guy with that kind of locker room presence, that clutch gene, even if he's not the same physically? He's got that fire, that edge. And if you're down 3 with seconds left, I want Dame on that court. Now, obviously, that only works if it's a minimum. You can't break the bank. But as a depth piece, a veteran presence, I'm here for it. And speaking of depth, the big man spot's getting real thin. With Luke Cornett and now Horford out, where does Boston turn? The market isn't exactly flooded with difference makers. You got names like Bismack Biyombo, DeAndre Jordan. Serviceable guys, sure, but no one that's going to anchor your defense. So maybe that means it's time to roll the dice. Give a guy like Luka Garza a real shot. See what the second rounders can do in Summer League. Amari Bailey, for instance. You give him a few big minutes, maybe he shows you something. That's the reality of this roster now. You're going to have to take risks. Let guys prove themselves. Oh, and I've been seeing the chatter. Are the Celtics still Boston's team with the roster in flux? Look, the Patriots are always going to pull big headlines. That's just how it is in New England. But don't sleep on this Celtics season. You think last year was interesting? That was the most predictable team in the league. They were great. Yee, but boring. This year? This year's chaos. You got new pieces, young guys getting burned, veterans trying to prove they've still got it. The buzz is going to be real because we don't know what we're going to get. And that makes for a way more exciting season. By the way, for all the people asking, yes, Yam Madar is still playing. He's over in Tel Aviv, one of the stars of that squad. They just won a Euro Cup title and are heading into EuroLeague play next season. And no, I'm not saying he's coming over, but don't rule it out. The Celtics still hold his rights. And if he keeps progressing, who knows? Keep an eye on him. And yeah, before we wrap this part up, I got to shout out James. Welcome to the Ball Brotherhood, my man. You said my dome looked next level. Appreciate that. It's all about the shape, man. Not everyone's built for the ball life, but if you are, keep it smooth. Get yourself a fogless mirror, shave every couple days, and most importantly, sunscreen. That sun will cook your scalp if you're not careful. Trust me, I learned the hard way. All right, that's part one of the madness. We've still got plenty to cover. More mailbag questions, more roster breakdowns, and yeah, we might just get into some Summer League overreactions too. Because let's be real, nothing screams NBA offseason like getting hyped over a 22-year-old dropping 15 in Vegas. Stay locked in. Now let's shift gears a bit because it's time to address something that's coming up more and more, the complexity of building a winning team in today's NBA. The days of just stacking talent and paying whatever it takes are over. This second apron, man, it changes everything. What used to be a simple luxury tax problem is now a full-on puzzle. Teams are getting squeezed and front offices have to get creative just to stay competitive. And when you look at Boston, they're right in the thick of that challenge. They got superstar contracts, yes, but they also have to find diamonds in the rough to fill out the roster. It's no longer just about who you can sign. It's about who you can develop. And that brings me to scouting. I don't think people realize how critical pro scouts have become in this new cap landscape. You've got scouts sitting courtside, not just watching games for strategy, but watching those end-of-bench minutes. They're not just tracking stars. They're looking at second-rounders, two-way guys, players dropped from other rotations, just hunting for that one player who can give you 8 solid minutes a night on a rookie deal. That's gold now. That's what separates a good team from a great one under this CBA. You look at teams like Oklahoma City. They've been stacking talent through the draft, but eventually those paydays come. You can't pay everyone. So the real test becomes, how well can you time it? Can you move off of certain players while their value is high and replace them with more affordable pieces who can still contribute? That's where the true front office genius shows. It's not just about finding the next star. It's about knowing when to say goodbye to the last one. And I know that's tough for fans. Nobody wants to hear that a guy they've grown to love might be on the way out because of tax implications. But that's the new reality. Celtics fans are feeling that now. You win a title, you want to run it back, you want to see that same group go after it again, but when the tax bill's pushing 9 figures, ownership's going to hesitate. Even the richest owners are starting to tap the brakes because of how these penalties stack up. It's not just money out the door. It's a competitive disadvantage. It's flexibility lost. It's a future compromised. But before we continue, please remember to subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest news about the Boston Celtics. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. In what could become one of the most shocking developments of the NBA offseason, murmurs have begun circulating around league circles that Boston Celtics star JAYSON Tatum may be facing a potential 1-year suspension due to a doping violation. While no official confirmation has been released by the league or the players' representatives, several sources close to the situation suggest that Tatum has allegedly tested positive for a banned substance during a routine off-season check. The whispers started gaining traction late Wednesday night as anonymous insiders hinted at a prominent Eastern Conference All-Star being under investigation. Not long after, speculation zeroed in on Tatum, who had recently taken to social media to post a cryptic message about trusting the process and weathering storms, further fueling the conversation. Though the nature of the alleged ban substance remains unclear, the potential fallout could be immense. Tatum, fresh off leading the Celtics to a dominant season and firmly entrenched as one of the league's premier talents, would be a devastating loss not just to Boston, but to the NBA as a whole. A one-year suspension would not only impact the Celtics championship aspirations, but could also shake the league's marketing and branding strategies, given Tatum's status as a global ambassador for the sport. Of course, it's important to note that, as of now, nothing has been officially confirmed. League officials have refused to comment on the situation, and representatives for Tatum have neither confirmed nor denied the allegations. That silence, however, has only intensified speculation. In the court of public opinion, the absence of denial often speaks louder than any formal announcement. NBA fans and analysts alike will be watching closely over the coming days to see if these rumors hold any truth. Could this be a momentary swirl of misinformation, or is the league truly on the verge of a major scandal involving one of its brightest stars? Only time will tell, but for now, the whispers surrounding Jayson Tatum have turned into a growing storm that the NBA may soon have to confront head-on. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Boston Celtics, please subscribe to our channel and give the video a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.